Hello everyone, this is Watch Exploration. Today's review is a Longines 4-pin moon phase produced by APS factory, compared with the original Swiss 4-pin moon phase. What's the difference between them, at less than 1/10 of the price? Can it have the quality of a Swiss one? Whether the appearance is similar. What are the differences? Today we will talk about their differences. Let's do a comparison review. The one on the right has a label. This is from the APS factory. The one on the left is an original Swiss one. Currently, the best factory making the Longines 4 needles moon phase. The best factory is the APS factory. Let's compare them. First, let's measure the diameter of the watch, because the dial is related to the watch, its shape and size. Whether they are the same, let's measure it. The original one is 40 millimeters. Yes. Let's measure its thickness. Thickness is 11.3. Let's measure the APS factories. Is also the same, and it is the same version. And the thickness is the same. Its size is the same as the original one, which is consistent with the original one. Okay, let's take a look. The details of the dial. We can see that the APS factories, the dial will be slightly wider. The original Swiss one will be more yellow. There is a slight difference in color, but this color, after we wear it, the APS factory will also turn yellow because white, after being exposed to sunlight, it will oxidize and turn yellow. So this point is, there is no need to compare. Okay, let's take a look at its dial. Its texture also has a slight difference. This texture is finer, while the original one is a little thicker. In this regard, without a reference object, it's hard for us to tell the difference. Also, let's take a look at its logo. In fact, its logo, we can also see that the logo of the APS factory will be a little fatter. The original one will be a little thinner. There is also a slight difference, but the difference is very small. It's hard for us to tell the difference. Okay, let's take a look. What is the area with the biggest difference? Is the pointer. As we can see, the original one is also a blue steel needle. It looks a little darker. When we look at it diagonally, its color change is not so severe, but the APS factories, its color change is more severe, and we can also see that its pointer, the minute hand, the APS factories, will be thinner. The original one is a little thicker. In fact, these points, it's hard to distinguish from the front, but below the moon phase disc, the difference is slightly more obvious. Let's zoom in again. We can see that the original one's moon phase, the moon is polished, which is bright and polished. But the APS factory, it's a brushed one. Let's look at the upper. We can see that it has a brushed surface. This small detail, although we can't see it clearly on our phones, but in real life, we can see it by refraction. It's a brushed one. Here is also a little, and on its outside, there is a gold wire ring. The original one, outer ring, is a little thicker. But this APS factory, look at this line. The outer ring line is very thin. It's easy for us to compare here. In fact, on the front, without a reference, it's hard to tell the difference. But its back side, it's relatively easy to distinguish. Let's take a look at its back. The back is also of great concern to many friends because this watch, it's a back-seen watch that can see the movement. If you can see the movement, its flaws will be magnified infinitely. Let's zoom in again. We can compare it. Let's start with its automatic rotor. Its automatic rotor, you can see this is an APS. Its automatic rotor, with a logo and an I-889 on it. Its color is a golden color. But the original one is a rose gold color. There is a slight difference here. There is a slight difference in color. Okay, now let's take a look at its balance wheel. There is also a slight difference in the balance. On the top of the balance, the calibration, Look at this card degree. There are two different degrees. You can see that there are two card positions on the IPS, but the original one, the shape is different. And the bottom of the balance wheel. Look at the bottom of the balance, the original one. There is a calibration letter. And calibration letter and number. But on this IPS, there is no such thing. Another point, the obvious difference is that the original one, it is a double T shock absorber. But on the IPS, is a gourd-shaped shock absorber. This is easy to distinguish. The difference here is more obvious. Another obvious point is the outer ring of its movement. The original one has a steel stamp, with letter stamps, but the IPS one doesn't have it. Without a reference, we can tell the difference. If these letters, the depth of the letters, we can compare them. It's hard to compare them. But the structural text of these models, these are easy to distinguish. So its movement, there are big differences. Okay, now let's take a look at its accessories. Its accessories also have a small difference. This original strap. The texture of this strap is quite messy. The original one is made of crocodile leather. This is a crocodile leather, which is relatively soft, and its texture is also relatively messy. On the contrary, let's take a look at the IPS one. Its texture is very clear. It's just a line. This is a calfskin, so the difference in the straps is quite large. Okay, let's take a look at its buckle. The difference in the buckle is relatively small. Its letters and comfort are similar. So these points, if we don't zoom in on it, it's hard to tell. If you have an original watch, and you keep zooming in, the difference will be obvious. This is just an appearance. Let's also talk about its stability of the movement. The stability of the movement is even more, because the original one has high stability. This IPS factory, which is modified from a Seagull 2892 movement, although its movement structure is similar, its stability is still somewhat different. But their adjustment time and the method of adjusting the moon phase and calendar are the same. But the quality is definitely different, although it is less than 1/10 of the price of Swiss. But I always believe that you get what you pay for. This is the appearance exploration. Today, I will share with you and the Swiss 4-pin moon phase. That's all. Thank you all for watching and supporting this video.